So Jupiter is now in Aries 9, the crystal gazer, and it's been here before. This is where it was stationary for a while, so this is as far as it has been in this cycle. So we have some sense of revisiting and having contemplated again and revisited this time today in order to express outwardly the wisdom that is to be gained within this degree. The crystal gazer is to do with focusing the subtle mind. Being able to see the whole picture, the mature psychic can interpret scenes and scenarios in the holistic context. This perspective is not given to one lost in narcissistic self-love and obsessed with self-projection. All about awakening the non-grasping, all-seeing, subtle aspects of mind. The sensory concentration of attention. And a perception of what is shaping what is to come. We don't know the future, and astrology cannot predict the future in any specific way. Astrologers can. Astrology cannot. If astrology could, computers would be able to do it. Astrologers, however, have got this ability of mind that can take the information and suggestions put forward by astrology and turn it into something else which is more human. And they have the ability to awaken the psychic aspect of the mind in order to grasp what other people cannot grasp. In fact, most people don't believe in. Not really. They have a sense of superstition and they kind of believe in it in some fluffy way. But the specificity with which we're dealing here is to do with looking at a crystal ball to find access to this psychic realm that we have, all of us, and to project that onto a possible future. So on a level which is not really understood in the days where Sabian symbols were introduced, we're talking about quantum mechanics. We're talking about the possibilities that exist. Not everything. Certain things must be the case in the future, and if we imagine them different from that, we're just wrong. Other things could be that way, but they could be this way, and they could be another way. That's quantum mechanics. What could be, on some level, is, and we can go there. Tricky to understand, very different from what we've been taught since birth, but that's how it is. Insofar as it is in consistent rapport, it's consistent with accepted normality on a fundamental level, such as after sunset it gets dark, after sunrise it gets light. On that level of certainty, yes, the future is known to us. But we're going deeper into this, trying to find out what might be true for us and what becomes more likely to be true when we nominate it. And that's what the crystal gazer does. It gives names to potentials and make them more likely to come to pass. From Rudyard, Aries 9, a crystal gazer. The development of an inner realization of organic wholeness. The crystal sphere symbolizes wholeness. Within the sphere, images take form. These images may reveal future events, but more significantly, they picture the situation as a whole, the situation which the clairvoyant is meant to interpret. The nascent mental faculties operating through still dominant emotions or collective cultural incentives act as a centralizing and whole-making power. What the intelligence perceives in its concentration is the function of every inner impulse and outer events in the open field of a personality, still unclouded by egoism. This is for the development of individualized consciousness, concentrated attention. I think Rudyard's got the point there. Concentrated attention. This is one of my favourite phrases, reworked. Seek and ye shall find. Here we have a crystal ball which represents all and everything, the wholeness, the integrity, the holism attitude to life. And we're allowing our non-grasping mind to play with what might be by focusing in a certain way, concentrated attention, but we're concentrating on what isn't there, actually. It's the imagination that puts it there. And this facility is known by creative people. An artist will look at a blank canvas and just visualize something and then try to place on the canvas that which is first imagined. A writer will look at a blank piece of paper and try to get the sort of meaning of what wants to be communicated into words in a certain way that somehow triggers that meaning within the mind of the reader. Now, these processes of how we access creativity are no different for how we access life, normal life. In other words, our everyday and ordinary life is subject to that same process. We can imagine it differently. We get up in the morning to a blank canvas, and whatever we put on that canvas during the day comes out of our imagination. Now, if we are creative, then we tend to embellish what has gone before, make it beautiful, make it interesting, make it communicative of deep wisdoms and so on. We act upon our life in a creative way in order to express what we choose to express, what we're inspired to express. People who are not creative don't do that. They try to do the same old. They try to copy what went before because that's easiest. It takes less commitment, less decisiveness, less risk. But a creative person doesn't mind about all of those things. He just gets on with being creative. And here, in the sense of the reading of the crystal ball, we have a psychic person, and we are all psychic if we allow ourselves to be. Now, this psychic person is using a tool, and this tool focuses the mind, concentrates the attention in a particular way, a way which is both pinpointed and accurate. We're looking at one thing and nothing else. Our peripheral attention is nil. We're focusing on the crystal ball. And yet, what we're focusing on isn't there. We make it become through imagination. That is a skill to learn. And it's normal. This is a part of our human repertoire, our palette of possibility. And it's turned into something not only unusual, but also derided and also punished in days gone by. That this totally normal attitude of mind, being able to read not the future so much as the situation at hand. That's what Rudyard says. He's saying that the crystal ball enables us to get the holistic picture of here and now, through which we can have a springboard to possible futures. And if you tune in to this facility of your own mind and the facility of the client's mind, then we have the possibility of making a statement that they may or may not approve of. And if they approve of it, and you can see the future works that way, then it's a legitimate thing to predict that. If you're trying to predict something that the client actually doesn't want to have happen, I think there's a moral question here, a question of ethics. It is not really okay to implant an idea into the client's mind of something that they really don't want to happen. That would be a form of cursing, I would think.